Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veteran Treatment Court. Today is our plea docket. And I have, today, let's see, is Wednesday, the 10th of November, 2021. It's approximately 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon. On my docket for today, we have two Spanish speakers, cause 639-445, State of Texas versus Roberto Luna Galvan, represented by Mr. Ray Martinez. And we have cause 663-666, State of Texas versus Javier Ruiz, represented by Mr. Adam Flores. On our regular docket, we have cause 666-105, State of Texas versus Carlos Corona, represented by Mr. Manuel Escobar. Cause 637-421, State of Texas versus Taylor Murphy, represented by Catherine Valenzuela. Cause 661-304, State of Texas versus Miguel Garcia Moreno, represented by Mr. Scott Hill. Cause 670-164, State of Texas versus Eric Morales, represented by Mr. Todd Coronado. Cause 669950, State of Texas versus Travis Perez, represented by Mr. Michael Bellevue. Cause 665998, State of Texas versus Brianna Valdez, represented by Mr. James Tochi. Cause number 668567, State of Texas versus Erica Rincon Larios, represented by Mr. Matthew Brown. Cause number 650015, State of Texas versus Luis Toomey, represented by Mr. Robert Gaona. Cause number 667899 and 667900, State of Texas versus Celeste Berton, represented by Ms. Sophie Martinez. And we have a Bexar County Veteran Treatment Court Track 2 probation plea and agreement, and cause 629-753, State of Texas versus Christopher Orna, represented by Ms. Stacy Krause. And we have a carryover from this morning, cause number 644-961, State of Texas versus Emmett Hernandez, represented by Mr. Larry Meadows. At this time, they're setting up our interpreter for our Spanish speaking pleas. So let's start with the regular ones. And at this time, let's take a burst of 6. Cause number 666105, State of Texas versus Carlos Miguel Corona, represented by Mr. Manuel Escobar. Mr. Escobar, are you ready to proceed at this time?
Yes, Judge, and I was in error. He doesn't need an interpreter, but we can do it in Spanish.
We do or we do not need an interpreter?
We do not. I thought we did. We don't.
Great, perfect. And we have cause 637-421, State of Texas versus Taylor A. Murphy, represented by Catherine Valenzuela. Ms. Valenzuela, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. We also have cause 661304, State of Texas versus Miguel Garcia Moreno, represented by Mr. Scott Hill. Mr. Hill, are you ready to proceed?
Good afternoon, Judge. We're ready. He is in the courtroom.
Thank you. And I've got cause 670164, State of Texas versus Eric Morales, represented by Todd Coronado. Mr. Coronado, are you ready to proceed?
Ready, Your Honor. We're also in the courtroom.
Thank you. Cause number 669950, State of Texas versus Travis Perez, represented by Mr. Michael Bellevue. Mr. Bellevue, are you ready to proceed?
Are you ready to?
Your Honor, he may have left to go someplace else because I don't see him now. He was in, so he might have had to go.
So Mr. Bellevue is not with us anymore on Zoom, is that correct?
It looks like it, Your Honor, he was, but now he is not.
That's okay. Let's go with cause 665999, State of Texas versus Brianna Valdez, represented by Mr. James Tochi. Mr. Tochi, are you ready to proceed?
Good afternoon, Judge. We are present and ready. Yes.
Thank you. And last in this batch is cause 668567, State of Texas versus Erica Rincon Larios, represented by Mr. Matthew Brown. Mr. Brown, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. We're ready.
All right, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, the first document I need you to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference, which purports to have both the attorney and the defendant's signature on it. Mr. Corona in cause 666105, is this your signature on this document, sir? Mr. Corona, can you hear me, sir?
He was here.
Did we lose Mr. Corona?
He's right there with Mr. Escobar, Your Honor. He's on mute.
Mr. Escobar, your microphone is turned off. There you go.
Yes, that's my signature.
Great. Let me back up again. Mr. Corona, in cause 666-105, is this your signature on the document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Escobar, as attorney for Mr. Corona, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Murphy, in cause 637-421, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Valenzuela, as attorney for Mr. Murphy, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia Moreno, in cause 661-304, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Hill, as attorney for Mr. Garcia Moreno, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Morales, in cause 670-164, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Coronado, as attorney for Mr. Morales, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Thank you. Miss Valdez, in cause 665-999, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And Mr. Tochi, as attorney for Miss Valdez, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Rincon or Miss Rincon Larios, in cause 668-567, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Brown, as attorney for Miss Rincon Larios, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Corona, is this your signature on this document also, sir? Did we lose Mr. Corona? We had him a minute ago. Mr. Escobar, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, it was me again, Judge.
Okay, how do you get this to see him again? Because
All right, let me back up. Is this your signature on this document also, Mr. Corona?
they can't
Yes, sir.
see me.
All right,
That's gonna keep the
Thank you.
camera on you.
English.
okay, if you're not specifically talking to me, please turn your microphone off so you don't get background noise. Thanks. And Mr. Murphy, in cause 637-421, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Garcia Moreno, in cause 661-304, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Morales, in cause 670-164, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Valdez, in cause 665-999, is this your signature on this document, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And Ms. Rincon Larios, in cause 668-567, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Each of you, by signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, Mr. Corona?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is that correct, Mr. Garcia Moreno?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is that correct, Mr. Morales?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is that correct, Ms. Valdez?
Damn it, you muted it by sending that thing in. I don't know. No, it was just.
Mr. Tochi, have you got Ms. Valdez with you?
I do, Your Honor. She's here on camera. I don't know if you can see her.
I can see her. Is this your signature on this document, ma'am? And by signing this document, are you fully aware and agree with what's on this document?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Rincon Larios, is that your understanding and your agreement?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Escobar, the attorney for Mr. Corona, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, sir. Remember both questions.
And hang on, I'm getting phone calls. Got speakers on. We can fix that. Fixed it. Okay. And Ms. Valenzuela, same question with regard to Mr. Murphy.
We've had time to go over it, Your Honor.
And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Hill, the attorney for Mr. Garcia Moreno.
Yes, Your Honor, to both questions.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Coronado, as attorney for Mr. Morales.
Yes, sir, to both.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Valdez. I'm sorry, Mr. Tochi is attorney for Ms. Valdez.
Yes, Judge, we've gone over it and I do believe she's sane and competent.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Brown as attorney for Ms. Rincon Larios.
Yes, Your Honor, to both questions.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Corona, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes.
And same question for Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for Mr. Garcia Moreno.
Resident.
Is that your resident? Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Garcia Moreno in cause 661-304, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere for the offense charged may result in your deportation, your exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Garcia Moreno, have you discussed with your attorney, been made aware of the mentioned consequences, and are you still now knowingly wanting to enter a plea to this offense?
No contest, sir.
Okay, sir, what I'm asking is, have you discussed the possible immigration problems you may have if you
Yes,
enter a
yes,
plea
sir.
to this case? And you still want to enter a plea to this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Hill, the attorney for Mr. Garcia Moreno, have you had the ability to discuss with him the possible problems he may encounter with regard to his immigration status if he enters a plea to this crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after your discussion, did he indicate to you he wanted to go forward with a plea bargain with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Morales, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And same question for Ms. Valdez.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. And same question for Ms. Rincon Larios.
A resident, sir.
Okay. Ms. Rincon Larios, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere for the offense charged may result in your deportation, your exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Ms. Rincon Larios, have you discussed with your attorney and been made aware of the mentioned consequences? And are you now still knowingly wanting to enter a plea to this offense?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Brown, as attorney for Ms. Rincon Larios, have you had the ability to discuss with her the possible problems she may encounter with regard to her immigration status if she enters a plea to this crime?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
And after your discussion with her, did she indicate to you she still wanted to go forward with a plea bargain with the state?
Yes, Your Honor, she did.
Fair enough. Mr. Escobar, as attorney for Mr. Corona, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Valenzuela, same question with regard to your representation of Mr. Murphy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hill, same question with regard to your representation of Mr. Garcia Moreno.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Coronado, same question with regard to your representation of Mr. Morales.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Tochi, same question with regard to your representation of Ms. Valdez.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. And Mr. Brown, same question with regard to your representation of Ms. Rincon Larios.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, state with regard to Mr. Corona, cause 666-105, it appears you have a motion.
Yes, Your Honor, the state moves to waive the 0.15 enhancement.
Objection from the defense, that will be granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And let's see. Therefore, Mr. Corona, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, sir?
Go on. No contest, Your Honor.
Great, state, is there an agreement for Mr. Corona?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement is 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months with an $850 fine, plus court costs, plus 48 hours of community service, plus DWI education, plus VIP, CAT SNP, SSM for half the term, pay restitution, if any, to half-price movers or the owners of the damaged property, and regular UAs.
Defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, but I do have a request.
And you're breaking up on me.
Yeah, the request would only be that if the court would consider probating a portion of the fine.
Okay, I apologize. I'm really having a difficult time understanding you. You want to get closer to your microphone, maybe?
Yes, sir. The only request is that the court would consider probating a portion of the fine.
Probate a portion of the fine, that's your request?
Yes, sir.
Normally, these are plea bargains, and I don't, have the authority to do that, but state, do I have the authority to probate any part of this fine, or is this a plea bargain and you're standing by your side?
Your Honor, you may probate it.
Okay. And Mr. Escobar, was that the only thing you were requesting?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me double check my notes here, make sure I got all this correctly. Okay, Mr. Corona on clause 666-105. The court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months, assessing an $850 fine, probating $100 of that plus court costs. 48 hours of community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program. Smart Start mobile home breath tester at 4 blows a day for 8 months, which is half the term. Restitution, if any, to half price movers in San Antonio, Texas, and regular urinalysis test. State, what did I miss?
That's everything, Your Honor.
Defense, what did I miss?
There was an issue about a warrant being out for my client for a violation.
Hang on, Mr. Escobar. Once again, I'm having a really tough time understanding what you're saying. Say it again, please, slowly.
There's an issue of a warrant being out for my client for a violation of the ignition interlock, but we did want to discuss that with the court.
Does your client currently have an ignition interlock in his vehicle? Is that correct?
He does.
No.
It's a
He's gonna use.
I'm sorry.
We don't use ignition interlock because that doesn't test people 24 hours a day. We use this Smart Start mobile device, which is the size of a cell phone, and he gets to blow into it every 6 hours.
That's what he has.
I'm still having a hard time understanding. Is that okay with you guys?
That's what he has.
He has a Smart Start mobile?
Yes. He has that
Yeah.
now. The only question is, there was a warrant apparently issued for him for a violation on the Smart Start. I just wanted to bring that to the court's attention.
I'm having a very difficult time understanding what you're saying. Susan, can you?
There's a
Oh,
warrant.
that's much better. Let's try that.
I just turned the screen, Judge. That's all I did.
No, you're good. What now? What was your last thing you were talking about?
Judge, apparently there was either maybe a warrant out for his arrest for a violation of the Smart Start. I wanted to bring that to the court's attention. We did want to discuss that with the court. There was an issue about whether someone else had blown into his unit, but it really was him. He was just dressed a little different than he normally dresses. And if you really take a good look at the picture, it's him. You can tell.
Okay, are you trying to tell me that he has a pretrial violation that we haven't dealt with yet?
That's
Your Honor,
correct,
he has an active warrant.
Okay, well, I'm gonna recall all that. He's on probation. Any kind of pretrial stuff that we've done, we're going to withdraw. So from this date forward, he just goes on what we went over here in court. If I have a change to that, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's what I wanted.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything further from the state of the defense on Mr. Corona?
No, Judge, Judge, I haven't done too many of these online by Zoom. Where does he report to the probation office?
Susan, over to you.
If I may, Judge, give my little lecture.
Sure.
Anyone that is being placed on probation today, you will receive an email or a telephone call by probably next Wednesday morning, and they will set you up for an orientation. If you do not receive a email or a phone call, then you need to call this number. So write this down, everybody. 210-335-7446. So if you've not heard from anyone, you need to call them and let them know that you need an orientation department. Miss Benavides has put the phone number into the chat for us. Thank you. Anybody that is pleading today that resides outside of Bexar County or the state of Texas, before you make your plea, you need to advise the judge. Or if you will be moving outside of Bexar County or the state of Texas, before you enter your plea, you need to let the judge know so that he can fill out your paperwork appropriately, whether you're going to be reporting via Zoom or mail, etc. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? All right, Judge, that's all I got. Nobody has any questions.
Okay, nothing further from the state of the defense on Mr. Corona. Y'all are excused. Thank you. Good luck, Mr. Corona. Thank you, Mr. Escobar.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see what's going on with Mr. Murphy. State, I see you have another motion.
No, Your Honor, she's going to plead to a Class A DWI in this case.
Okay, so we're not waiving any enhancement. I see this one. Plead to Class A DWI. And okay. Is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
So Miss Murphy in clause 637421 to the charge of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content of 0.15 or greater. How do you plead, ma'am?
Guilty.
And my understanding is correct. This is going to be a plea to DWI greater than 0.15, not DWI because we're not waiving the enhancement. Is that correct, State?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And is that correct, defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
The paperwork was set up for DWI and not greater than 1.5, so we need to add greater than 1.15 on the waiver of constitutional rights form, Pat, administratively, and that'll take care of that. Okay, your paperwork says no contest, and you just said guilty. Ms. Valenzuela, what plea would you like your client to enter? I don't think the state cares.
No contest, Your Honor.
Fair enough. Court accepts the plea of no contest. The defense of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. State, is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 1 year, Bexar County Jail, probated for 12 months, $1,000 fine, plus court costs, 64 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNP, regular UAs, SSM for half the term, and $60 to DPS.
And Ms. Valenzuela, is that your understanding of your agreement?
As to everything but the fine, we had been corresponding with Guillermo Flores regarding the fine, but we never got a final number. And since the pendency of us turning in the plea, Mr. Taylor has a very good shot at getting custody of his daughter. She's a toddler. And so some of the money is going to need to be used to hire a lawyer so that he can get her. And so we were asking for some kind of reduction or probating some of it, Your Honor.
And State, do I have your permission to reduce the fine in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's see if I get it. Mr. Murphy, in clause 637421, the court accepts your plea of no contest, defense of driving while intoxicated with a blood or breath alcohol content greater than 0.15. I find you guilty. I says 1 year in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, an $850 fine plus court costs, 64 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile home breath testing machine at 4 blows a day for 1/2 the term, which is 6 months. and $60 reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety for a lab fee. State, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we thank you for the reduction.
And we're going to recall all pretrial services bond conditions from long ago and far away. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Valenzuela. Good luck, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Thank you, sir.
May I have inmate Galvan put into a breakout room with Ray Martinez, please? So we can walk him through the paperwork, please?
Sure.
Victoria, the problem is he needs a deputy because he's not understanding. I've got him, he's able to join. He does not know to do that.
Señor Galvan, ¿me escucha? ¿Me escucha? ¿Puede pedir que le ayuden a irse a un cuarto privado con el abogado, por favor? Uno de los oficiales le puede asistir.
Thank you, Victoria.
No, thank you.
Okay, now we're back on 661-304, State of Texas versus Miguel Garcia Moreno. Let's see what we're doing on this one. Okay, Mr. Garcia Moreno to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, sir?
No contest, sir.
And state, is there an agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. This is case number 661-304.
This is on Mr. 661-304, correct? Garcia Moreno.
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for a $600 fine plus court costs, plus 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 12 months, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, cat snip, and Start Smart Mobile for half the term.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Garcia Moreno, on cause 661-304, the court accepts your plea of no contest to defense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year, a $600 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile home interlock or home breath testing machine at 4 blows a day for half the term, which is 6 months. And that's what I got. State, what did I miss?
That's everything, Your Honor.
And defense, what did I miss?
Nothing, Judge.
All right, we're good. Good luck, Mr. Garcia Moreno. Thank you, Mr. Hill. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Done. Switch, so the judge can see. They're gonna do the information or call that number.
Whoever's talking needs to turn their microphone off unless they're talking with us. Okay, Mr. Morales, let's see what we're doing with you. Got it. Mr. Morales, got 670-164 to the charge of driving while license invalid enhanced. How do you plead, sir?
He's muted.
Second.
Got it? No contest.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there an agreement for Mr. Morales?
Yes, Judge. The agreement is for 2 days in the Bexar County Jail, $0 fine, court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, and a judgment satisfied.
And Mr. Coronado, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is agreement, Your Honor.
Mr. Coronado, during your discussions with Mr. Morales about this case, were you able to give him any insight into what he needs to do to get his license reinstated so we're not back here again in 6 months?
Yes, sir. We discussed that. He knows what he needs to do, and he's gonna do it.
All right, all good. Okay, Mr. Morales, about 670-164, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while license invalid enhanced. I find you guilty. I says 2 days in the Bexar County Jail, a $0 fine plus court costs, credit for time served, time and money to run concurrent, judgment satisfied. Anything further from the state or the defense of Mr. Morales?
Nothing from the
Nothing.
state.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Morales. Don't drive. And thank you, Mr. Coronado.
Thank you, Hunter. May I be excused?
You bet.
Thank you.
Let's see what we're doing with Miss Valdez. Stand by. Okay, State, you got a motion on this one?
Yes, Your Honor, the state moves to waive the 0.15 enhancement.
From the defense, that will be granted. Ms. Valdez, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
Sorry, Judge, we were muted. She pleads no contest.
All right, court accepts the plea of no contest. The defense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement is for 12 months deferred adjudication plus a $500 fine, court costs, 48 hours of community service probated for 24 hours, probated by 24 hours, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Start Smart Mobile for half the term, regular UAs, and $60 to DPS.
And Mr. Tochi, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Judge, that is our deal. And just so the court is aware, and I shared this with the prosecutors already, she has front-loaded some of the programs that I anticipate you're going to order as part of the deal. I assume the court will not have an issue allowing her credit for those programs.
Now, what is she, you know it right off the tip of your tongue, which one she's completed by now?
Yes, sir. She did the DWI education. She also did a victim impact panel. And I provided those to Megan. She should have them.
I will go ahead and put in the order that she gets proactive credit for the DWI education and the victim impact panel. The probation department will probably want to see the graduation certificates or something on them, but other than that, we're good.
Understood. Judge, I have two other real quick questions.
Sure.
I don't know if the court would allow her to go to 4 blows a day. She's been on 6.
Sure. Let's crank it down to 4.
And then lastly, does the court have an opinion on early termination?
This is a DWI.
Well, you are eligible for it now. I just don't know the court's opinion on it.
Well, counsel, you can't get an early termination on a DWI case by law.
I thought the new statute allowed it.
Not to my knowledge. Anybody know something? I don't. Sophie, you're my expert. Is there such a thing as early termination on a DWI now legally?
Judge, I don't know of that at this point.
I'll put it this way. I've gotten it done before.
Not in this court, you haven't. This
I don't
court.
think so.
Well, Judge, leave your mind open to the notion and we'll talk later.
Do this. Do some research on that for me, and I'll ask Brooke, which is my staff attorney. But I have not heard of that. I would love for that to be true so that we could use that as a tool to assist folks in rehabilitating. And if they jump on it and get it done early, it's okay with me to cut them loose. But my understanding is the law doesn't allow that. But if that's not correct, let me know.
I will, Judge.
In writing, not in telling me that, because I know you will.
I can write it down for you. Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, Judge.
You bet. Okay. Miss Rincon Larios, let's see where we are with you guys.
Yes, sir. I currently reside in Dallas, Texas, in the county of Irving.
In the county of Irving, is that what you said?
Yes, in Irving.
Okay.
It's Irving, the county of Dallas, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, sir. That
I
one.
got it. No problem. We'll transfer probation up there if we can. Otherwise, we'll be answering by Zoom or something. Okay, so the motions on this one. Ms. Rincon Larios, in clause 668-567 to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, ma'am?
No contest, sir.
Is there an agreement for Ms. Rincon Larios?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 12 months deferred adjudication, a $650 fine, plus court costs, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, and Smart Start Mobile for half the term.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay, Ms. Rincon Larios, in cause 668-567, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold a finding of guilt. Place you on 1 year deferred adjudication probation. Assess a $650 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile, home breath testing machine at 4 blows a day for half the term, which is 6 months. Anything further from the state of the defense on Ms. Rincon Larios? We're going to transfer your probation to Dallas County. And if that's not possible, she's going to just be answering by Zoom or whatever other way the probation department has her do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Okay. And Pat, where are we on our paperwork for the Spanish speaker?
I'm checking right now, Your Honor. If you just give me a few minutes to get back into him. It took him a while to get him into the breakout room. I will check.
I think you just signed it right now, Judge.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're gonna need to set him up with the interpreter.
Well, I guess my question is, should we go through the next 6 pleas and come back to the Spanish speaker? Yes? Okay. I'm sure the interpreter would like to go other places, but
And the interpreter can do the plea with Mr. Ruiz because they are already set up.
we can do that right now?
Yes, you can.
All right. Give me a 2-minute break to get my paperwork together, and I'll be right back, and we'll do Mr. Ruiz, and we'll go through these other ones.
Okay. Hey, Raymond?
Yes, we have a MTR.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Raymond,
Yes.
why don't you
Pat.
can talk to Mr.
Pat, you're not coming through.
No, I can hear her.
They can hear me. Raymond, see if you can get Mr. Galvan to enable his Spanish.
That's a good trick.
I know, or ask,
So you know what? I'll just tell. So what does he have to press, or what does he have to do to enable the Spanish?
supposedly, he should have a globe on it that says interpretation. You need
Yeah.
to hit that and hit Spanish.
Why don't we just let the interpreter explain it so that she's probably better on that, on those words than I am. Mr. Galvan, le van a explicar algo que tienes que hacer ahorita, ¿ok?
Yes,
Go ahead,
I
Ms.
hear you.
Go ahead, Ms. Abrams.
Wait a minute. So Susan, you are hearing Mr. Galvan?
Pat, we can't hear you now.
I can hear you, Pat. And I think Mr. Galvan heard me.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
now
Yeah, Pat, you got to select English.
I've already did English.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you, Mr. Galvan? Yeah, so
Seems like the interpreter's talking to him. No?
Señor Galvan. No podemos oírlo. ¿Puedes llamar el deputy, por favor? El oficial.
Monica.
Okay. Can you please him to, go to interpretation? Okay. Señor Galván.
Sí, dígame.
Okay. Hay un globo abajo que dice interpretation. ¿Lo ves? Parece un globo. Yo no puedo oírlo porque
¿Es la que está enseguida de la videollamada?
es posible. You need to press that. Primes eso y pones español. Deje el oficial oírme, por favor. Dale ándale, por favor. We need to get him ready for the interpretation. There should be a globe if you can hit it and hit Spanish for us, please, so the interpreter can talk to him. If not, it will be the 3 dots and it will go into language and it needs to be Spanish. And he's muted, so I can't hear it.
Sí, sí, le escucho.
Okay.
Ok.
Everybody in the English channel, hit the globe and hit English, please. Okay, so that's set up now. Thank you.
Sí, lo oigo.
Raymond, he did finish it
Sí, puedo
because it
escucharlo.
has not come through. The paperwork has not come through. Arlene, can you see if he has sent the paperwork? Supposedly he signed it. The defendant, Mr. Galvan.
Yeah, he signed it, but I don't know if they hit
Sí.
send. Es que después de firmar, Mr. Galván tiene
Pues,
que...
los firmé y aquí me ayudó un oficial y me dijo que ya se habían enviado.
Yeah.
You got it? No.
See, and I don't have it.
No, es que cuando termines de
We got
firmar,
it, we got it, we got it, we got
Okay,
it.
never mind. Ahora sí, ya
Got
llegó.
it. Ya llegó.
Ok, está bien.
Okay. Now we can do this.
All right. Do we want to start with Mr. Weiss, or we want me to go to the non-Spanish speaking, please?
It's up to you. We now have all the Spanish set up, Your Honor, and we can do either or.
I don't have paperwork on Mr.
I
Gal.
just sent it.
Ooh, maybe I do. Let me look. And there it is. Let's do the 2 Spanish speakers so we clear our interpreter for other courts. Okay, Pat? Ms. Benavides with us?
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
All right. Reference the Galvan paperwork.
Yes,
I have a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal in English and
yes,
Spanish. I
yes.
have no rights waiver in either English or Spanish.
Huh?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I got.
It's an
You've
MTR.
got that's. All right, I'll look for it and look and see what I sent, Your Honor, but.
But it's an MTR, Pat. We don't have a waiver of rights.
NTR. Oh, that
Yeah,
would.
it's an MTR.
All right. Bear with me.
Thank you.
You need a program to keep up with Blair. That would be different. And I don't have a copy of the NTR either. Let me look around and see if I can find one. Stand by.
Judge, I emailed it to you this morning.
I'll look for it. Okay, Mr. Galvan and Mr. Martinez in cause 639-445. This is a Motion to revoke community supervision. Once again, representing the state are Ms. Megan Galloway, Mr. Eddie Villarreal. Representing the Bear County CSCD is Ms. Susan Gross, who I'll remind is still under oath. In the first document, I need Mr. Galvan and Mr. Martinez to identify their signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Galvan, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Sí.
Thank you. And Mr. Martinez, as attorney for Mr. Galvan, is this also your signature on this document?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. And I have one copy in English and one copy in Spanish, and it is marked, or rather it should be marked, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction. So Pat, that should be marked on both copies, both English and Spanish. Is this your signature on this document, Mr. Galvan?
Sí.
And I apologize, is this your signature on both the English version and the Spanish version, Mr. Galvan?
Sí, en las dos.
And Mr. Martinez, is this your signature on both the English and Spanish version?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pat, also on my copy of the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal in English, Mr. Galvan's name is not spelled out where it says State of Texas versus blank defendant, so that needs to be input administratively also. Okay, Mr. Martinez, my understanding is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision. Is that correct?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Galvan, in cause 639445 on the motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
He's pleading true to all violations, Judge.
Fair enough. Court accepts the plea of truth and explanation. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Galvan's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Galvan has been reporting as directed. We last saw him October 5th, 2021. He is paid $1,116. That is in full. He's completed 10 of his 48 hours community service. He has also completed DWI education, victim impact panel, and the CATSNP program. He is currently testing on Smart Start Mobile at 4 times per day. He has had 3 skips and no high bracs. He has had 5 negative drug tests. He failed to submit on 1 occasion, and 5 additional drug tests were not able to be tested due to leakage in transport from lids that were not screwed on properly. He has no criminal history. This is his first violation report, first MTR. His officer is recommending that he be placed on weekly drug testing and that he submit to, or he shows substantial compliance within 30 days.
Let me back up. With regard to the allegation in condition 2, that he failed to submit for drug testing, did he just not show up, or did he show up and couldn't produce a sample, or what were the circumstances?
According to my records, it's that he failed to show up.
And that's the only time he's done that, one time, correct?
Correct.
And I have a little different spin on it, Judge.
I'm sorry, Ray, say again?
I have a little different spin on that.
Yeah, would you mind telling me?
Judge, on October the 5th, he was ordered to report, which he did. And what he explains to me is that after he reports, they tell him when he's supposed to go UA. And on every occasion in the past, he's always done it. On this occasion, it appears either he didn't understand he was supposed to go, there was a communication fault, or maybe they thought they told him and they didn't, but he didn't intentionally not go. He just didn't realize he was supposed to go that day.
I got you.
He clearly reported that day. And he's never had a positive on alcohol for the portable device or the UAs.
I got you. And then, Susan, in condition number 15, where it alleges he missed 3 test windows, were those at different times, or were those 3 in a row, or how'd that work?
You're muted, Susan.
Let me double check that, Judge. It'll take me just a second to locate that report.
My guess.
While she's looking, Judge, I can answer.
Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
3 separate individual times on very, very far spread apart.
Okay, Ray, what's your recommendation from the defense standpoint?
Judge, I think he should be terminated. He did 796 past past breath tests without a fail. He's done every class. I disagree with the community service. He's actually done 20, is my understanding, not 10. He's never failed a drug test, done every class, paid in full. Because it's not a DWI probation, I think the court could actually terminate him. He's done 9 days in jail, Judge, for basically 3 random skipped breath tests out of 800 and 1 missed UA out of about 10 that looks like it was a communication issue. So as far as performance, he's been really, really well, in my opinion, and he spent 9 days in jail. So I think, in my opinion, that's enough.
Let me back up. For what reason did he go to jail? The basis of this MTR or for some other reason?
No, he's in jail for the MTR, Judge. He's got 3 days on the initial arrest and 6 days on the MTR.
So I show 8 days credit is what I'm being provided.
Probably when it was done, that's probably correct, Judge. He probably got another day since.
Okay, did you say 90 or 9?
No, 09, just 9.
09, I got you. Okay. And he's only been on probation since March of 21. Does that sound right? Mid-March?
That's correct, Judge. He expires in February of 22, but he's now paid in full and done all his classes. And he was successfully discharged from the Smart Start Mobile already. So he's not even if he goes back on probation, there's no reason for to put it back on that I know of.
Judge, that is correct. I did not catch it, but the officer submitted a request for removal of Smart Start shortly after the motion was filed. And it was agreed to remove the device because he had minimal violations. During the term of his probation, he's only had 3 skip tests, and he's been on the device a total of 9 months.
And I'm sorry, Judge, I failed to mention he also did 9 months on the interlock pretrial before he did his plea.
Okay, State, Mr. Martinez has brought up an interesting point. This is not a DWI, so we're not forbidden by statute to early term this case, would be my understanding of the law, right? Is that the way you read it?
That's why I see it, Judge.
All right, so State, what I'm asking is your permission to early terminate an obstruction of highway intoxication. What I have in mind is just to terminate Mr. Galvan and terminate him satisfactorily and let him go. He spent 9 days in jail as a result of some of this. And looking back on this is as MTRs go, and as y'all saw this morning, they're aggravated ones and they're not aggravated ones. And this is not an aggravated one. And Mr. Martinez has already explained away the missing the UA part that I believe. So do I have your permission to early terminate Mr. Galvan, State?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has no objection to that.
Fair enough. Mr. Galvan, in clause number 639445, the court accepts your plea of true with an explanation. I deny the state's motion to revoke your probation. I order your probation terminated satisfactorily. Anything further from the state or the defense on Mr. Galvan?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Galvan. Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Judge.
Ray, I will, or never mind, I forgot. He's already off Smart Start. So
yes,
the orders will probably be signed next week. Okay. As far as the closure of the case.
Right, but he'll get a release today, right?
Judge will get the paperwork in tomorrow's a holiday, so I'm not sure when he'll get the paperwork in and when it'll get done because the clerks won't be there to do anything tomorrow.
Not to press my luck, Judge, but any chance we can expedite Mr. Galvan?
Is Mr. Galvan currently in jail?
Yes.
He's currently in jail, yes, Judge, with no other holes besides this case.
322. Pat?
Yes, sir.
Can you take a few minutes off and go inform the clerks that what I want them to do is enter the results of this MTR, denied, terminate satisfactorily, and send some message to the jail to try to get him out of jail immediately. Now, we all know that's not going to happen, but that's the best we can do.
I'll do it right now.
Judge, you need to change your lingo. It's early term SAT.
All right, do that.
Okay. I'll do it right now. I'm stepping out right now to do it.
All right, so please advise Mr. Galvan, we're doing everything we can to get him out. Okay, so Ray, if you want to hang around and see where that goes, you're welcome to. Otherwise,
Okay, gracias.
we can find you.
Okay, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Galvan. Best of luck. Okay, are we ready on Mr. Ruiz? Mr. Flores with us? Adam Flores? It just gets better and better.
I'm right here, Your Honor.
Yay! Okay, are you ready to proceed on Mr. Ruiz?
Sí, puedo escucharlo.
Is that correct? Yes? Mr. Flores, turn your microphone back on. Adam?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm right here.
Oh, there you are. All right. Are you ready to proceed on Mr. Flores? Is that correct? Is it just me? Adam, you keep coming and going like a spook.
Judge, I think he dropped off totally. I don't see him at all.
All right. Well, don't know what else we can do. Ms. Abrams, I apologize. I tried to get you out here early and it's not working, so I can only play the cards I'm dealt.
Your Honor, give me 1 minute. I have to log back in, Your Honor. I have to log
Mr.
back
Flores
in.
back?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll be back in a minute. Yeah. Let me log back in.
All right. Are you ready to proceed, Adam?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll have to log in my other computer.
All right. This is cause number 663666, State of Texas versus Javier Ruiz. And this is a plea, okay? It's the first thing I need to identify are signatures of both Mr. Ruiz and Mr. Flores on a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Ruiz, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Sí, yo firmé.
Thank you. And Mr. Flores, as attorney for Mr. Ruiz, is this also your signature on this document?
He's coming in, Your Honor. We had a little issue. He's
Yeah.
in now.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, the next document I have, Mr. Ruiz, is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions that purports to have your signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Ruiz, is this your signature on this document also?
Sí.
Thank you. By signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, Mr. Flores. So in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, Mr. Ruiz?
Sí.
Thank you. Mr. Flores, as attorney for Mr. Ruiz, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Mr. Ruiz, are you a United States citizen, sir?
No, no soy.
Mr. Ruiz, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a plea of guilty or nolo contendere for the offense charged may result in your deportation, your exclusion from admission to this country, or the denial of naturalization under federal law. Mr. Ruiz, have you discussed with your attorney and been made aware of the mentioned consequences, and are you now still knowingly wanting to enter a plea to this offense?
Yo hablé con él. Hablé con mi abogado.
Okay. And Mr. Flores, did you have the ability to speak with Mr. Ruiz with regard to his immigration status and the problems he may encounter with regard to entering a plea to this crime?
Yes, Your Honor. I did. I think it's not a crime of moral turpitude, Your Honor.
Gotcha. So after you just had this discussion with Mr. Ruiz, did he indicate to you he wanted to go forward with a plea bargain with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Flores, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
See what we're doing for Mr. Ruiz here. All right, state, you got a motion on this case?
No, Your Honor, it's just gonna be a plea to obstruction.
Obstruction, or does it have to be reduced to obstruction?
What was the question?
The question is, did this start out as an obstruction of a highway case, or was it a DWI starting out?
Let me check on that, Your Honor, just 1 second.
I believe it was a DWI, Your Honor. It was reduced to obstruction.
So my guess is the state's got to make a motion either to amend the information and add the obstruction paragraph and then waive the DWI paragraph, or maybe it already had an obstruction paragraph, and the state can elect which paragraph to go forward on. So that's where I'm flying blind here.
Yes, Your Honor, it was a DWI. In that case, the state moves to amend and add obstruction and waive the DWI.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's motion to amend the information and add paragraph 2 alleging obstruction of a highway. No objection from the defense is granted. Then state motion to waive paragraph 1 alleging DWI and proceed on paragraph 2 alleging obstruction of a highway is also granted. Therefore, Mr. Ruiz is in charge of obstruction of a highway. How do you plead, sir? And state is there an agreement for Mr. Ruiz?
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement is for 16 months deferred adjudication, a $500 fine, plus court costs, 60 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, $60 to DPS, and random UAs.
And defense, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. We asked the court to put a handheld device, Your Honor. Apparently, he doesn't have a vehicle at this time, Your Honor. But he got dropped off, Your Honor. But right now, we're asking for a handheld device.
Okay, so does he currently have any kind of device?
Yeah, he does have a handheld device currently, Your Honor.
And we think it's a Smart Start Mobile that everybody gets in this court?
What was that, Your Honor?
I said it's probably a Smart Start Mobile. Do you know the name or the manufacturer of the device he has?
No, Your Honor, I don't know. He has it with him right now.
Why don't you take a look at it real quick and confirm it says Smart Start Mobile on it? Does he also have an ignition interlock in his car or not?
No, Your Honor, he doesn't. Your Honor, he doesn't have a vehicle. He does not have a vehicle at this time, Your Honor.
All good.
Your Honor, permission the court kept. Right now, he's blowing 6 times a day. Can he blow 4 times a day, Your Honor?
Correct. We'll reduce it. Are you looking at the device?
Yes, it's a Smart Start, Your Honor.
Perfect. That's all I need to know.
And we asked the court to recall the warrant, Your Honor. There is a warrant for his arrest.
Absolutely. Okay, let's see if I get it. Mr. Ruiz, in cause 663-666, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the offense of obstruction of a highway. Although I have enough evidence to find you guilty, I'm going to withhold the finding of guilt. Place you on 16 months. Deferred adjudication probation. Assess a $500 fine plus court costs, 50 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program, Smart Start Mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day, reducing your current 6 blows a day for 8 months, which is half the term. $60 reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety and regular urinalysis tests. State, what did I miss?
Can you recall the warrant to Your Honor?
Yep, I got that. Recall warrant and all prior PTS bond conditions.
That was everything, Judge.
State, did I get everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Ruiz. Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Your Honor, maybe excuse, Your Honor.
You bet.
Muchas gracias.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your help. Okay. Apologize for the wait, guys, but it is what it is. What I've got left is clause 650015, State of Texas versus Lewis Toomey, with represented by Robert Gaona. Mr. Gaona, are you ready to proceed? Is Mr. Gaona with us? I see. It says he is.
I'm
There.
here, Judge.
Are you
Judge,
ready,
I'm here.
Robert?
Judge, I don't believe Mr. Toomey is logged on. I've tried sending multiple emails, multiple texts, and calling with no answer.
Okay. Well, if you can find him before 5 o'clock today, I won't do bad things to him. And just we can
Okay.
reset it if that's what we need to do. Okay.
Yeah, Judge. I'm pretty sure he was there last week when I was unavailable.
He
I was
was.
in felony jail court. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll do what I can.
All right. Thanks. Just get back to Pat and let us know what's going on.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, I've got cause 667-899 and 667-900 to be TIC'd. State of Texas versus Celeste Burton, represented by Ms. Sophie Martinez. Ms. Martinez, are you ready to proceed?
To proceed, Judge.
Thank you. And Ms. Kraus, who's been very patient, I have cause 629753, State of Texas versus Christopher Orna, which is a Bexar County Veteran Treatment Court Track 2 plea and probation agreement. And Ms. Kraus, are you ready to proceed?
I am, Judge.
All good. Okay, the first document for each of you I need you to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. Mr. Hernandez in clause 644961, is this your signature on this document, sir? Is Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Meadows with us?
Your Honor, they should be.
I see Mr. Meadows down here.
Well, Mr. Hernandez is right here, Your Honor. He just needs to unmute himself. Unmute yourself, Mr. Hernandez.
I already, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Now, do we have Mr. Meadows is the next question. Larry Meadows, Earth to Larry, come in. It says he's here, but he's not responding.
No.
Larry Meadows, this is God. Come to Earth.
Well, Your Honor, he was here. He must be in and out.
All right. Mr. Hernandez, hang on.
Yes.
Your attorney will wake up shortly and come back in, and we'll just take you individually by yourself. We're going to take up Miss Burton and Mr. Orna at this time. So let's try
All
that.
right.
In cause 667-899, Miss Burton, is this your signature on the defendant's consent to plea by video conference?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Ms. Burton, is this also your signature?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Orna, in cause 629753, is this your signature on the defendant's consent to plea by video conference?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Kraus, as attorney for Mr. Orna, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have your signatures on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights you must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Ms. Burton, is this your signature on this document also?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Mr. Orna, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. By signing this document, are each of you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorneys, so that in signing these documents, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on these documents. Is that correct, Ms. Burton?
Yes, sir.
Is that correct, Mr. Orna?
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Ms. Burton, have you had enough time to go over this case with her? And in your opinion, is she mentally competent?
I have, Your Honor, and I believe she is.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Kraus, as attorney for Mr. Orna.
Yes, I have, and I believe he is.
Ms. Burton, are you a United States citizen, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Same question for you, Mr. Orna. Are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Martinez, as attorney for Ms. Burton, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
They have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Same question for Ms. Kraus, as attorney for Mr. Orna.
As far as I'm aware, they have, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, let's see what we're doing with regard to Ms. Burton here. State, you got a motion on Ms. Burton's case.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive the DWI second enhancement.
Objections, Your Honor.
And that'll be granted. No objection from the defense. Therefore, I assume we're pleading to DWI first. So in cause number 667-899, Ms. Burton, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense, how do you plead, ma'am?
No contest, sir.
Is there an agreement for Ms. Burton in 667-899?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 180 days Bear County Jail, probated for 16 months with a $600 fine plus court costs, 55 hours of community service, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, CATSNIP, Start Smart Mobile for half the term, $60 to DPS, and the state will take into consideration cause number 667-900.
And Ms. Martinez, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Your Honor. We do have,
Go ahead.
Judge, we do have warrants that I guess were some violations there. So when we take this plea, Judge, it's a pretrial warrants that we need withdrawn, and an order for a GPS that the court said you would withdraw those conditions once she entered the plea.
Yep, we're gonna start over, no problem. Okay, Ms. Burton, in cause 667-899, the court accepts your plea of no contest to the offense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I assess 6 months in the Bear County Jail, probated for 16 months. Assess a $600 fine plus court costs, 55 hours of community service, DWI intervention program, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety new intervention program, Smart Start Mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for 8 months, which is 1/2 the term, $60 reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety for a lab fee, taking into consideration clause 667-900, which is granted and it shall be dismissed, and recalling all pretrial services, bond conditions, and warrants. Anything further from the state or the defense on Ms. Burton?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Just for the record, I believe it, you do have a standing order to allow community service to be paid off, right? Because Ms. Burton would like to do that.
We have a list, maybe 5 or 6 entities that the court recommends for community service donations of $10 per community service hour. And they're primarily special operations, wounded warriors, and family violence intervention and things like that.
Yes, Judge.
Okay?
Great, thank you, Judge.
Good luck, Ms. Burton. Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you. May we be excused, Your Honor?
Absolutely. Okay, Mr. Orna, cause 629-753 to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. Let's see what we're doing here. Oh, I'm sorry, state. I'm getting ahead of you. Make your motion, please. Start out as a second, it looks like.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive the DWI second enhancement.
No objections.
Imagine not. That should be granted. No objection from the defense. Therefore, Mr. Orna, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, sir?
That's it, Your Honor.
And is there an agreement for Mr. Orna?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 1 year in the veteran treatment court, plus a $1,000 fine, plus 80 hours of community service probated, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, veteran treatment court treatment, and a successful completion of the VTC.
Ross, do I have any pretrial bond conditions on Mr. Orna? His name rings a bell. It's not a good thing when I remember defendant's name. Do we have, did I like increase his bond or do bad things to him somewhere in there?
You did, Judge, but we've been working on that. And it was, I sent you some documents about him being in the hospital during the violations that he had gotten. So, you know, but he does have a warrant right now, which is why you put us on the plea for today. So
We're going to recall all pretrial bond conditions and warrants and all that, and we're starting over. So it doesn't mean they can't come back, but they're starting over. We got a big hammer over his head right now. Now, I noticed the way that the state has their plea bargain phrase is not exactly the way we do it in the VTC. He's still going to get sentenced to 6 months over 1 year because it's a track 2. Otherwise, we would hold it in abeyance and it'd be a track 1. But otherwise, it'd be exactly the same as any other VTC probation.
Right, it is a deferred, Judge, on him. And
sorry?
it is, and I know that the state said $1,000 fine, but it's the $1,000 VTC program fee. So I know it's like a little weird wording there.
That's exactly right. In this particular case, the fine's included in that. Basically, any kind of monetary output is supposed to be included in that $1,000. That's where that comes from. So let me run through this, and if we need to modify it, let me know. Okay, Mr. Orna, in cause 629753, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the offense of driving while intoxicated. First offense, I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 1 year. A $1,000 all-inclusive VTC program fee, 80 hours community service, probating all that based on your military service, DWI Victim Impact Panel, DWI education, outpatient drug with either the Veterans Administration or a designated VTC provider, requiring successful completion of VTC, and we're recalling all previous pretrial bond conditions and warrants. That's probably not going to become active till tomorrow morning, so don't get all excited and run around town and going 80 miles an hour and get stopped, or you're going to have a bad day.
Your Honor, it's a holiday tomorrow.
It's our holiday. It's Mr. Orna's and my holiday.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Because when I left Afghanistan, we were winning. How about you?
Well, we were doing the drawdown, so we were closing on bases.
What did you do in the military, Mr. Orna?
I was an air evac medic.
And who were you assigned to?
To the 433rd AES air evacuation squadron, but out there we were attached to the 451st, the Pedros.
Were you
the helicopter unit?
And or Iraq?
Sorry, could you say that again, sir?
Were you in Afghanistan and or Iraq?
Both, sir. Yes.
Both. He's a traveling man. All right, well, that's all I got. Thanks for your service, sir. Ms. Krause, do you have anything further?
I do, Judge. I just want to, mention a couple things. You said the DWI education. I believe the state wanted the intervention program on him. Just to make sure that that's done. I don't know that you ordered the Smart Start mobile on him. I know that you want it.
Yes, that's a good point.
And you did say it was 6 over 12, but this is supposed to be a deferred.
Oh, it's supposed to be deferred.
Yes.
That's not what my information says.
Sorry. Yeah. And then I have a couple of
1 year deferred adjudication for DWI. Does that sound right?
I'm sorry, DWI intervention.
Yeah. Okay. From what I previously said, it's not 6 months over 1 year regular probation. It's 1 year deferred adjudication probation for the offense of DWI first. Smart Start mobile home interlock at 4 blows a day for half the term, which is 6 months. And DWI intervention, not DWI education. Thank you, Ms. Krause, for clarifying all that for me.
And I do have a couple of housekeeping issues, Judge.
Sure.
Okay, so one of the things is that my client does travel for work throughout Texas, so he would like to be able to freely travel throughout Texas for work. As part of his
what does he do in Texas for work?
Sir, so I'm patient advocate. So I have to travel around and advocate for patients, patient care, patient diagnosis, but I have to physically Sorry.
He's authorized to travel anywhere in Texas for work as long as it doesn't interfere with what he's required to do in the Veterans Treatment Court.
Yes.
If they say be somewhere in the VTC to do something and that conflicts with your working, then the VTC comes first. That's the only issue. Okay. Otherwise, no problem.
Yes, sir.
And Judge, right now he does have blows. His last blow is from 10 p.m. to midnight. We're asking for that to be amended to 9 p.m. to midnight. He does get up at 5 a.m. every day for work. So having to stay up till 10 sometimes has been very difficult for him.
Well, here's how it works. It's difficult for everybody. That's why they call it probation. And, when you take 24 hours and you divide it by 4, that's every 6 hours. If we start juggling all the hours, then I don't get my effective coverage every 6 hours. So he's been in the military. It's no big deal to get up early or do whatever he's got to do. I have great faith that Mr. Orna will be able to handle it.
Understood. Understood, sir.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Krause?
Well, Judge, perhaps we could amend it to 9 p.m. to 11 a.m. and then 5 a.m. to 7 a.m.
We'll be happy to look at it, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Okay.
Because once again, you're messing with my every 6 hours.
Well, that would be every 6 hours, like we just do it every 6 hours with that schedule.
I probably had him on 6 blows or I had him on scram somewhere in there. Didn't I have something like that going? No? Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions, Mr. Orna?
Negative, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for your service. Welcome to VCC. Stace, you got anything else you want to talk about?
I do not, Judge.
We're good. Y'all are out
Your
here.
Honor, you have Mr. Hernandez, but you also have Travis Pettis.
All right, Josh, do you have any input? You need to chat with Mr. Orner or Ms. Kraus?
Mr. Warner, you're going to be receiving a phone call from Mr. Mora about your next steps. Ensure you're checking your emails daily from now on, okay? That's the
Understood. I still have to fill out that email with all that 18 pages of word designation.
You'll get a chance to talk to your probation officer about your travel, okay?
Understood.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. You're out of here.
Okay.
Okay, and now we've got,
Pettis and Hernandez
I've got Mr. Hernandez file.
and Travis Pettis with Mr. Van.
I'm looking for that. Bingo. All right, Mr. Bellevue, what did an alien intervention grab you and take you to a spaceship? What happened to you?
I was in the 290th and things weren't working out very well.
Second war and they won. I got it. Okay. So with regard to Mr. Perez and clause 669950, Mr. Bellevue, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then we got Mr. Meadows.
Your Honor, I've emailed him and told him that we were ready to do his plea. I've not heard anything, Your Honor.
Okay, call him on his cell number. I don't know why I even have a cell number on here.
I don't think I have it, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have a cell phone number on Mr. Meadows?
Yes.
Call him if you would, please, and tell him to come on Zoom.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna.
Mr. Hernandez, if you give it to me.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's, he has actually two numbers, but here's a 210 number. It's 210-745-6100.
Thank you. I'm gonna call him right now, Your Honor.
Okay. No, I don't have a number on him. Let's give Pat a couple of minutes to do her magic.
Judge, while we're waiting, can I approach on something?
I'm sorry, say again?
May I approach?
Sure. What you got, Mrs. G?
I've been hired by an Edgar Hernandez. We filed a motion of to substitute in this morning and motion to set bond. He's got an MTR and a DWI and is currently remanded without bond. I just wanted to see if we could have a bond set.
You have an MTR pending?
Correct.
Okay, and tell me again his name, please.
Edgar Hernandez.
Let me write this down. I gotta look at the MTR and see how aggravated or not aggravated it is.
I understand.
And is he actually in jail right now?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
You have a case number?
I do. 1 second. I can tell you what it is. It's 639-952.
This isn't the guy that Bobby Barrera called on earlier, is it?
No, Your Honor.
Pat, it's your ability, text Susan and ask her to send me a copy of Edgar Hernandez 639-952 MTR. And Mr. Gonzalez, how can I call you back?
I can give you my office number, Judge.
All right, shoot.
210-807-8656.
210-807-8652.
8656.
53?
56.
6?
Yes, sir.
6. So much for my ears. Too many airplanes, too many guns, too many pretty girls yelling at me. It just doesn't go anywhere. Okay.
Problem, Judge. It's a problem.
I'll give you a holler as soon as I get the information in front of me. It may be tomorrow morning, but I think it probably Susan will get it to me as soon as she gets the information.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Judge, I'm here. I'm looking it up right now.
If it's super aggravated, then we've got a problem. If it's not super aggravated, is this guy a veteran by any means? Because tomorrow's Veteran Day. If you want to, okay.
No.
Yeah. Talk about it.
he did not answer. I have texted him, Your Honor, and emailed him, Your Honor, that we are waiting.
There
Okay,
is another number, but he usually doesn't answer neither on the other
Okay,
number.
now it probably be this one. It's okay, Mr. Hernandez. Unless you want to do that other number, you can, but
all right, Mr. Hernandez, let me ask you to hang around a little while longer in the case you may come back, and when we're all finished, we're just going to cut you loose and reset this, and if we have to get you another attorney or something, we'll talk about that.
All right. Let me see the phone. I'm gonna call him on the other one.
Okay, that's not working. So the only one we have left is Travis Perez, is that correct? Everybody else has some
Your
issue.
May
All
I
right.
approach Your Honor?
Who is this we're talking to?
Adam Flores. Your
Yeah,
Honor,
sure. Yeah.
I need the number for probation, please. My client needs the number to call probation.
Ms. Gross has that number for you.
It's 210
Okay.
335-7446.
So I got 335-7446.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. All right, this is cause number 669950, State of Texas versus Travis Perez, represented by Mr. Michael Bellevue. And the first document I need you all to identify your signatures on is entitled Defendant's Consent to Plea by Video Conference. In fact, Mr. Perez, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Bellevue, as attorney for Mr. Perez, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir. The next document I have is entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions, that purports to have Mr. Perez's signature on the back, effectively waiving certain constitutional rights he must waive in order to enter a plea before this court. In fact, Mr. Perez, is this your signature on this document also, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. By signing this document, are you telling me that you've had enough time to either read this document or have it read to you in its entirety? If you had any questions about what was on this document, those questions were answered to your satisfaction by your attorney, so that in signing this document, you're telling me that you agree with and understand everything on this document. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bellevue, as attorney for Mr. Perez, have you had enough time to go over this case with him? And in your opinion, is he mentally competent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, are you a United States citizen, sir?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Bellevue, has the state fully complied with discovery for you on this case?
I believe they have.
Okay, let me get my plea bargain sheet and see where we're going with Mr. Okay, state, you got a motion, it would appear.
Yes, Your Honor. The state moves to waive the 0.15 enhancement.
No objection from the defense, that will be granted.
No objection.
And bingo. Therefore, Mr. Perez, to the charge of driving while intoxicated, first offense. How do you plead, sir?
No contest.
And is there an agreement for Mr. Perez, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The agreement is for 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated by 16 months, or for 16 months, $700 fine, plus court costs, 48 hours of community service, DWI education, victim impact panel, CatSnip, Smart Start Mobile for half the term, regular UAs, and $60 to DPS.
Mr. Bellevue, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Perez, in cause 669950, the court accepts your plea of no contest, defense of driving while intoxicated, first offense. I find you guilty. I said 6 months in the Bexar County Jail, probated for 16 months, a $700 fine plus court costs, 48 hours community service, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program, Smart Start Mobile Home Interlock at 4 blows a day for 8 months, which is 1/2 the term, regular urinalysis test, reimbursement to the Texas Department of Public Safety of $60 for a lab fee. Anything further from the state or a defense on Mr. Perez?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Good luck, Mr. Perez. Thank you, Mr. Bellevue. Y'all are dismissed.
Thank you, Judge.
Y'all can go.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we still haven't heard from Mr. Meadows.
No,
Let's-
Your Honor.
Let's reset for next, what, Thursday?
Thursday? Yes.
Would that
Mr.
work for you,
Lee.
Mr. Hernandez? I'm sorry it's this way, but we don't have any control over your attorney yet. We will eventually. And your microphone is turned off, Mr. Hernandez. We can't hear you. Is Mr. Meadows appointed?
Yes, Your Honor, but he is also on the felony, and he is the one that worked the deal with the felony court to lead this one in and dismiss the felony.
Eddie, are y'all on top of whatever the actual agreement is from your felony prosecutor on this case?
Hello?
And your phone is turned off, Eddie.
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry about that. I'm sure the agreement is here. If I can have a moment, I can pull it up.
Okay, just someone confirm that y'all have something in concrete, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
I'm unmuted, right?
I know that Megan was trying to get information from the felony or from Mr. Meadows.
And they may not yet have it, I don't know.
They may not.
And did we do any good on trying to get a release from jail order in on that defendant?
I'll double check and see, Your Honor, but they were doing it as I told them. They went and got the information. I'll double check.
That'll probably get him out tomorrow. Probably won't get him out
I
tonight.
know.
Your Honor, I'm not seeing anything about a agreement.
No, I was afraid of that. Let's do this. Mr. Hernandez, can you come back on Zoom next Thursday afternoon, at 2 o'clock? So that would be Thursday, the 18th.
Yes, Your Honor.
At 2 o'clock, and the sign-in information is going to be the same as